Welcome back to the AI Data Center Academy. Over the last 7 episodes, we have architected a monster. We designed a non-blocking topology. We selected 51.2 terabit silicon. We wired it with 800 gig optics. We secured it with DPUs. You have built a Ferrari of data centers. Now, here's the scary question. How do you drive it? In a traditional enterprise network, monitoring means checking if the lights are green, if the links are up, and pings work. You're good. In an AI factory, a link can be up, bandwidth can be flowing, and yet your training job is failing. Your GPUs are sitting idle. Your job completion time is slipping by days, and you have no idea why. Why? Because traditional monitoring, SNMP, polling every 5 minutes, is blind to the physics of AI. A microburst that lasts 10 microseconds can cause a packet drop that stalls a billion parameter model. SNMP will never see it. In this final episode of our core curriculum, we are going to talk about deep observability. We are going to replace SNMP with streaming telemetry. We are going to define the exact metrics you need to watch. RoCE retransmit, PFC storms, buffer occupancy, and we're going to do a showdown of the vendor toolsets. Who gives you the best visibility into the black box? This is episode 8, performance monitoring and optimization. Let's turn on the lights. Let's start with the problem, the observability gap. In the old days, we polled devices. Hey switch, how are you? The switch says, I'm fine. 5 minutes later, we ask again. AI traffic moves at the speed of light. In a 5-minute window, an 800 gig port transmits 30 terabits of data. If a congestion event happens for 1 millisecond inside that 5-minute window, SNMP misses it completely. We need streaming telemetry. Instead of asking the switch pushes data to us. Real-time, nanosecond precision. We need to see the microbursts. Let's imagine a microburst. Thousands of GPUs synchronize their gradients. For just 2 milliseconds, the buffer on a specific switch port fills up. Packets drop. The AI training job halts and rewinds. If you pull that switch via SNMP at minute 1 and minute 6, you see nothing. The link looks healthy, but your job completion time just increased by hours. With streaming telemetry, the switch ASIC detects that buffer spike as it happens and streams that event with nanosecond timestamp to your dashboard. You see the invisible. Here are the 4 critical factors driving this technology in 2026. Eliminating the visibility gaps. We need sub-second granularity. We need to see into the hardware buffer and interface counters in real time. This allows us for predictive diagnostics, fixing a degrading cable before it kills a training run. Factor number 2, enabling autonomous operations, AIOps. This is the era of agentic SRE. We aren't just looking at graphs, we are feeding this telemetry into AI models. These systems can autonomously reroute traffic away from a congested spine switch or ramp up cooling fans before a thermal alarm triggers. This creates a closed loop, self-healing network. Factor 3, scaling for massive clusters. We are talking about clusters like NVIDIA's Rubin platform with hundreds of thousands of GPU. Streaming telemetry is push-based. It is efficient. It offloads the work to the switch hardware, allowing us to ingest millions of data points per second without crashing the management CPU. And factor 4, modern protocols. Forget legacy text parsing. We are using GNMI and gRPC. These are binary high-speed protocols, and we use structured data model like YAG. This gives you single, consistent language to monitor your Cisco, Arista, and NVIDIA gear in one pane of glass. Streaming telemetry isn't just better monitoring. It is the difference between guessing why your AI job failed and knowing exactly how to fix it. So, what are the vital signs of an AI cluster? You need to monitor the 3 layers. The compute layer. Next is the network layer and the storage layer. The compute layer, it starts here. You need to know if your GPUs are actually working. We use tools like Data Center GPU Manager from NVIDIA. There are two specific field IDs you need to watch. Write these down. SM active. This measures the streaming multiprocessor activity. Are the cores crunching math? It is a direct indicator of hardware utilization and thus a key component in calculating both MFUs and JCT. Another one is pipe tense or active. Are the tensor cores firing? By monitoring this field, user can gain insight into hardware utilization and identify potential performance bottlenecks in their application. If your SM activity is high, but your tensor activity is low, your data scientist wrote bad code. They aren't using the hardware. But if your tensor activity drops to zero periodically across the whole cluster, that is the network signature. The GPUs are starving, they're waiting for data. That is your cue to look at the fabric. Next is the network layer. This is where we live. We aren't looking for bandwidth utilization, we are looking for friction. Metric A, RoCE retransmissions. This is the single most important counter in your data center. In a perfect AI network, this number is zero. If it climbs, it means you're dropping packet. Every retransmit adds latency. If this counter spikes, your JCT goes through the roof. The next metric is PFC pause frame. Priority flow control is our safety valve. It stops traffic to prevent drops. But you need to know how often it is firing. If you see a PFC storm, thousands of pause frames per second, you have a head of line blocking problem. Your topology is congested. Another metric is buffer occupancy. This is the leading indicator. Modern switches can report exactly how full their buffers are microsecond by microsecond. If you see buffers oscillating between 0 and 100%, you have a microburst problem. You might need to tune your alpha parameters or move to dynamic load balancing. And the last layer, the storage layer. We talked about checkpointing in episode 3. You need to monitor IOPS and throughput on your storage NICs. If the storage network is saturated, the GPUs can't save their work. The training pauses. Storage latency can be correlated with GPU idle time when a GPU intensive application needs to load data from storage. If the data loading process is slow, which means high latency, the GPU must wait for the data to arrive in memory before it can begin or continue processing. This forced waiting period results in GPU idle time, where the GPU processing cores are underutilized because they're starved of data. Now that we know what to monitor, let's talk about how. You cannot check these counters via CLI on 500 switches. You need a platform. Let's look at the vendor toolsets. First is NVIDIA and NetQ. If you're running an end-to-end NVIDIA shop, NetQ is your cockpit. Its superpower is what just happened. The ASIC literally streams metadata about every drop packet. It doesn't just say packet drop, it says packet drop due to buffer congestion on Q4, switch leaf 12 at this exact nanosecond. It correlates the switch telemetry with the NIC telemetry. It gives you the full end-to-end path of the flow. Next is Arista and CloudVision. Arista is famous for software quality. CloudVision brings that to AI. They have a feature called LANZ, Latency Analyzer. It tracks queue depth in real time. But the killer feature is AI job monitoring. It hooks into your orchestrator like Slurm or Kubernetes. It knows that job ID 55 is running on rack 1 through 10. It correlates the network stats to the specific AI job. You can say, why is this Llama 3 training run slow? And it shows you exactly which link are affecting that job. Next is the Juniper and Apstra. Juniper is playing the intent-based game. With Apstra, you define the intent. All GPU uplinks must have 0 drops. The system continuously validates the network against that intent. They used intent-based analytics. You can write a custom probe to say, alert me if optical signal quality drops on any link carrying GPU traffic. It's powerful for managing multi-vendor fabrics because Apstra works on Arista, Cisco, and Sonic too. Next is Broadcom and NetGNT. If you're building your own tools or using Whitebox, you look at the chip. Broadcom's Trident and Tomahawk chips have a feature called NetGNT, Neural Network Traffic Analyzer. They literally put a neural network inside the switch ASIC. It learns your traffic patterns, it can predict an incast event before buffers fill up, and trigger congestion control hardware immediately. It is an AI optimizing AI. And then there's Cisco and Nexus Dashboard. Cisco is leveraging their custom Silicon One ASIC. Nexus Dashboard insights pull hardware telemetry directly from the chip. It excels at flow table analytics. It gives you a congestion score for every flow. It can tell you this element flow from GPU A is causing collateral damage to the mice flows on port B. But here is the reality. Even with these dashboards, a human cannot watch 100,000 metrics. This is where AIOps come in. We are using AI to manage the AI network. Imagine this workflow. The AI ops system sees a spike in retransmit on leaf switch 4. It checks DCGM and sees a GPU utilization drop in same rack 4 at the same millisecond. It checks the physical layer and sees that pre-FEC error rate on optical port 32 is climbing. A laser is dying. It automatically drains traffic from that link, reroutes the flow, and opens a ticket to replace the transceiver, all without a human getting a 3 a.m. pager duty call. This is the self-healing network. The era of manual troubleshooting is over. As we move through 2026, AI data centers have evolved into self-healing factories. We are no longer just managing workloads, we are deploying agentic AI, coordinated networks of autonomous agents that predict, plan, and repair infrastructure in real time. By the end of this year, the industry is hitting a critical milestone, level 4 autonomy. This means zero touch operations where intent-based systems translate business goals into physical configuration automatically. Driven by a near $2 billion market, these networks don't just fix errors, they prevent them using explainable AI and digital twin to simulate every fix before it happens. In 2026, the network isn't just a utility, it is an intelligent, self sustaining ecosystem that stays ahead of the curve. So, we have reached the end of the AI Data Center Academy core curriculum. We started with the workload. We learned why AI is a factory, not a library. We built the topology, non-blocking, rail-optimized, high radix. We selected the silicon and the protocols, shared buffer, packet spraying, ultra Ethernet. We tackled the physics, 1.6T SerDes, LPO optics, and liquid cooling. We secured the vault with DPUs and MACsec. And today, we learn how to watch it all with streaming telemetry. You now have the blueprint. You have the knowledge to sit in an architectural review board and explain why the old way won't work. You have the vocabulary to challenge vendors and demand the right specs. But technology moves fast. UEC is shipping version 1.0. Co-packaged optics are leaving the lab, and 1 megawatt rack is coming. This series is just the beginning. We are going to keep dropping deep dives, hands-on lab, and updates as the industry evolves. If you're ready to build the infrastructure that powers the future of intelligence, you are in the right place. This is AI Data Center Academy. Thank you for watching. Now, go build something massive.